Hi guys, Arthur here from Homeowner DIY. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to remove and then replace a toilet. So this video will fit for most toilets. Some manufacturers have a slightly different design, but for the most part, I will show you what a standard toilet install looks like. So what we'll do now is material and tools. Alright guys, this is our material list. So this toilet is an American standard. Pretty much everything you see here comes with it. So we have our tank, we have our tank to bowl bolts, we got our little sponge, we have our T-bolts, we got our covers for the T-bolts, we have our seat. Guys, this is what comes with the toilet. This is a Max Wax, and this is a regular. This one's smaller. The toilet I'm going to reuse. And then guys, also, these are called wobble wedges or vinyl wedges. If the floor is not even, then you can use these to shim up the bowl. Alright guys, this is our tools list. So we have gloves. Finishing kit, really the only thing I need in the finishing kit is a 1/2 inch ratchet wrench. We have our suction pump. And then I have a big tote here. This is what I'm going to throw the old toilet into to keep from making a mess. So let's get started. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to shut off our supply. Alright, with the valve off guys, our tank is going to still be full of water. So flush once, and that is going to pretty much empty out the water in the tank. Now I've already done this. I had to disconnect this toilet already, so I'm gonna have to do this a little bit differently. But here we're at the very bottom. So what we're gonna do is we're going to grab our little suction pump, and then we're gonna get the rest of this water out. So guys, this is it here. Put it into the bottom. And then get all the water out of the tank, and then we will move to getting the water out of the bowl. Alright guys, this is construction debris. What we'll do is we'll just get the water out of the bowl, or as much of it out as we can. Alright guys, with the water out of the bowl now, what we'll do is we'll disconnect our line. So this will be hand tight. And I've already broken this loose guys. This is a 5/8. So we'll take our 1/2 inch ratchet wrench. We'll loosen off both nuts, and then we can pull the toilet off. Alright guys, so the bolt and the nut are stuck together. I think it's the wax. So I'm just going to take some needle nose pliers to hold the bolt in place. Okay, so this one, I'll do the other one. Alright, so that's the toilet removed. This is our wax ring. This one has a horn on it, also known as a cant leak. Alright guys, this is our flange all cleaned up. So what you would do now is, if your T-bolts have been cut down, you need to reuse them. These ones haven't, so they could probably be reused. But What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this and put an offset floor flange in because I need to repipe this. So I'm going to go and get the new flange installed, and then we will come back. Alright guys, first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our toilet line. So guys, hold the valve in place and then crank the toilet line as much as you can. Also, don't be afraid to throw a crescent wrench on this to hold it in place. And guys, once again, don't use channel locks on this because you don't want to start scratching things up. But turn the toilet line until it stops. Alright guys, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my smaller wax seal, and then we'll put it over the flange, guys, our T-bolts. So the T-bolt goes in and then you spin it so it catches on the side. Alright guys, here I'm going to show you a trick I learned. Because I had to restructure the flange on this side, the T-bolt isn't going to stay. You see how it falls down. So what you do is you take a little bit of wax and then this should help hold the thing in place. But guys, with these two-piece toilets, what I do is I will put the bowl down first. The reason I put the bowl down first is because it's easier to do it without the tank on. So guys, when you put your bowl down, you want to go down straight. You don't want to be cranking it like this or like this. And also a key thing here you want is you need to feel the wax compress. If you don't feel it compress, pull it off and see if it's actually making contact or not. And guys, I'm not sure about if that actually compressed or not. So guys, also if you're not sure and you have to pull it off, what you can do is squeeze the wax. And try to raise the top of it a little bit. Alright, so guys, straighten it so the holes look roughly the same. Alright guys, so for the toilet caps, you have this, and then you have a ring. So the ring has this side up on it. So what you do is you put that on, you put this one on next, and then you put your nut on. Alright guys, that's nice and solid. So guys, in this case, the T-bolt is slightly too long. So I'm not going to be able to get it to snap down. So guys, the cap will snap to this. But if the T-bolt's too long, you have to cut it down. Alright guys, so we give it a rock. Seems solid. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is get our tank ready. So with our tank, you put the rubber over like that. Guys, if you have a leak between your tank and your bowl, it's either going to be from one of the bolts or it's from this. Alright guys, so for our tank to bolt, we put the washer, and then it goes like that, and then this sits on the inside. So we'll put our washer and our nut on. Alright guys, once again, this nut is only to be hand tight, so we'll turn the water on. Alright guys, so our tank is full of water. So it doesn't say on the foam or anything about a water line. So what you do is you go off the overflow tube here. Now if you look at it, it's just at the very brim of the overflow tube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flush. And then turn it. Alright guys, so we have about I'll say about a quarter of an inch below the overflow tube. So that is now set. This toilet is now set. So guys, when you adjust the float valve, that is called setting the toilet. So flush again. We get a nice strong shot of air. So the next thing to do is to put on the toilet seat. Alright guys, this is our toilet seat. So what you do is you fling the covers open. Alright, so what you do with this is you just drop it inside. A lot of times these things are a slot. This is a Phillips here, but all you do is put it in and then screw them down. So you just put the covers back down, give it a wiggle, make sure it's, actually this could be a little bit tighter. Alright guys, so the last thing to do is put the caps on. So what I'll do right now is I'll grab a hacksaw and then cut it down. Alright, so we have our hacksaw, and we'll cut down. Alright guys, always make sure that you flush the toilet multiple times. And then where you're going to check for leaks is you're going to check down here. They don't want me to caulk the bowl, so I'm not going to. And then also check here, check underneath there. Run your finger around, just make sure there's nothing leaking. and you should be good to go. And guys, in case you're wondering what this is here, so I have a clean out, and then this is an air admittance valve. So because I had to redo this, and it's not practical to hard pipe a vent to the outside, I just put in a air admittance valve and it'll act as the same thing. Alright guys, and just like that we are done. So what I'll do is now clean up, and then we'll do an overview of cost and time. Alright guys, so that concludes how to remove and install a toilet. So guys, some final notes. When you're tightening down your toilet bowl and also your tank, don't tighten the one side down and then go to the other side. Tighten the two down back and forth. Also, for your T-bolts, you don't want to tighten down until you feel resistance. You want to just tighten it down enough so the toilet bowl isn't rocking. And if your bowl is rocking at all, you need to tighten it down more. Because if you have a rocking toilet, you're eventually going to get a leak. It's going to start to compress the wax seal to the point where you have a leak. And I just ran into this for somebody else, where there was a slight rock and over time it began leaking. So your tank bolts, same thing, go back and forth and just tighten it down until it's not leaking. Guys, I can't really explain this to you without you actually doing it, without any feel, but you can over tighten. I've never done this myself, but I've had people crack toilet bowls on site because they crank the one side down and then they never touch the other. So a toilet, remember, it's only porcelain. You have to be gentle with it. Otherwise, guys, simple job. This is something you can definitely do on your own. The cost of this job, so all the parts came with the toilet. The toilet was about $200 with tax, which is pretty standard. You can get up into much more expensive toilets that are, $500-600. Totos are up there, and it's the same porcelain type of toilet, except the thing with the Toto is they have, like my Mansfield, they have their own custom thing. The time on this job, I would say, is about an hour. Guys, this is relatively simple as long as you don't run into problems. One other thing, with your wax seal, if you've left it in the garage or somewhere cold, you need to get the wax seal up to room temperature before you can use it. It'll become very stiff and it can be tough to compress down if it's cold. So I would say room temperature and you should be good to go. Otherwise, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope this video will make your next toilet install that much easier. Guys, until next time, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next project.